Today, we are talking about something that has shaken Nigeria. The federal government has released an explosive list of alleged sponsors of terrorism, and Sheikh Gumi has responded with anger. This is a major story, and it affects everyone. If you are watching, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. The government's list includes individuals and organizations accused of funding terrorist activities across the country. These are people who are believed to be helping bandits, kidnappers, and extremist groups to carry out attacks, and this list is part of an effort to expose them to the public. Sheikh Gumi reacted strongly to this list. He said that these people, whoever is behind the violence, should face consequences. He called for justice and invoked moral and spiritual accountability. Now, let's be clear. This is not just about criminals acting alone. Sheikh Gumi has long said that some of these acts of violence are planned and funded by people in positions of power, and this list confirms that concern. When he speaks, people pay attention because he is outspoken and has credibility among many communities. At the same time, some people worry that his words could increase tension, but it is important to understand that his focus is on justice and truth. Nigeria has been facing insecurity for years. Kidnappings, attacks on villages, and banditry have affected countless lives. Families have lost loved ones, businesses have been disrupted, and many Nigerians live in fear. The government releasing this list is an attempt to show that it is taking action. But the public wants more than just names. People want arrests, investigations, and real accountability. That is why Sheikh Gumi's statement resonates. He is demanding that justice is not only seen but also done. As we continue, remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Sharing this video will also help others stay informed about these developments, because this is a story that affects the whole country. The individuals and entities on the government list are accused of supporting terrorist activities financially or indirectly. This is significant because for a long time, there has been suspicion that some attacks are not random and that some people profit from the insecurity in Nigeria. By naming alleged sponsors publicly, the government is making a bold move, but many are watching to see whether this will lead to real consequences. Sheikh Gumi has said that the blood of innocent Nigerians is on the hands of those who fund these violent acts. His statements are not just emotional reactions. They reflect a deep concern about the ongoing suffering of ordinary people. He also challenges the government and society to confront the reality that insecurity has complex roots. It is not only criminals with guns, it is also the money and networks that support them. To every viewer watching, think about this. When the government exposes the financiers, it is a chance to clean the system, to make it harder for criminals to operate. But it requires public pressure, attention, and accountability. That is why it is important to discuss this openly, to share your thoughts, and to demand results. Nigeria has been in this situation for too long. People are tired of attacks, fear, and loss. When names are released, it is more than just information. It is a call to action. Sheikh Gumi's anger is a reflection of the frustration that many Nigerians feel, that too often, people behind the violence are protected, hidden, or ignored. If you are following this story, keep in mind that this is only the beginning. The list is public, but the next steps matter. Will there be investigations? Will there be arrests? Will justice be served? These are the questions the public and Sheikh Gumi are pushing for. And as always, I remind you to like this video, subscribe, and share it with others so that more people understand what is happening. This story is also a lesson for everyone. It shows that insecurity in Nigeria is not random. It has causes and actors behind it, and without exposing these actors, the cycle continues. That is why the release of this list is so important. It is an attempt to break the cycle, to bring some transparency, and to let people know that no one is untouchable. Sheikh Gumi's statement also highlights the moral side of this crisis. He is saying that beyond legal action, there is accountability that comes from conscience, community, and faith. It is a reminder that society must demand justice and not allow impunity to continue. This is why so many people are paying attention to his reaction. It adds pressure and raises awareness. Even as the list is controversial, it opens the door for discussion. Citizens, civil society, journalists, and leaders all have a role to play. Talking about the sponsors, understanding how they operate, and demanding transparency are ways to move forward. Sheikh Gumi's voice amplifies this call, making it hard for anyone to ignore. Remember, this is not just news. It is a story that affects the safety and future of every Nigerian, and as we follow it, we must stay informed, active, and vocal. That is why liking this video, subscribing, and sharing are important. It helps spread the word and keeps the pressure on those in power to act. And while we are talking about this, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated. Sharing this video ensures that your friends, family, and community understand what is happening, because this is a story that touches everyone's lives. The government releasing the sponsor list is a big step, but it is also a test. It shows that authorities are trying to bring transparency, but the real measure will be in what happens next. Will investigations be thorough? Will prosecutions follow? Or will this list simply be another report that disappears without action? Nigerians are watching closely, and voices like Sheikh Gumi's keep the pressure on. Sheikh Gumi reminds us that insecurity in Nigeria is not just a law enforcement problem, it is a societal problem. When criminals are funded by people with influence or resources, it becomes harder for security agencies to tackle the root cause. This is why exposing financiers is critical. Without cutting off the money and support networks, attacks will continue. Think about the families affected by these violent acts. Villages attacked, students kidnapped, farmers killed, and communities terrorized. Every time someone funds these attacks, they are contributing to this suffering. And that is why this list is important. It is a way to bring those hidden hands into the light, to make them accountable, and to let the public see that actions have consequences. If you are watching and you care about Nigeria, keep liking this video, subscribing, and sharing. Engagement matters because it amplifies the story and increases awareness. The more people know, the harder it is for impunity to continue. Sheikh Gumi's anger also raises another important point, the moral dimension of this crisis. He is asking society not only to rely on courts or police, but to also recognize that wrongdoing carries spiritual and ethical consequences. This is a reminder that justice is not only legal, it is also about conscience, accountability, and collective action. Now, let's talk about public reaction. Across social media, Nigerians are divided. Some support Sheikh Gumi, saying he is speaking the truth and bringing attention to an issue that has been ignored for too long. Others caution that his statements, though powerful, need careful handling to avoid panic or misunderstanding. Both sides highlight the fact that Nigeria is at a critical point. People want change, they want accountability, and they want security restored. The release of the sponsor list and Gumi's reaction also shines a light on the larger issue of governance. When violence continues unchecked, and when influential people are suspected of enabling it, citizens lose trust in institutions. That is why this list is more than just names. It is a test of whether the government is serious about addressing insecurity or merely performing for public attention. And as always, I remind you to like, subscribe, and share this video. Every click helps inform others, keeps the pressure on decision makers, and strengthens public awareness. The fight against insecurity is not just for government officials, it is for every Nigerian who wants a safer, more stable country. Sheikh Gumi's reaction also highlights the need for continued dialogue. We cannot stop at anger or statements alone. Civil society, religious leaders, media, and ordinary citizens all have a role. We must ask questions, demand transparency, and follow up on progress. Only then can these lists lead to real change. The challenge going forward is ensuring that these revelations result in action. Accountability must be visible. Names on a list are just the beginning. Investigations, arrests, trials, and convictions, these are the steps that must follow. Nigerians have been waiting for too long to see real justice, and this moment could mark a turning point if it is handled correctly.